I'm just kidding. All right. Our next guest, by the age of 11, had appeared in movies alongside Callista Flockhart and Julian Sands, before Guillermo del Toro cast her as Ofelia in Pan's Labyrinth. After winning multiple awards for that performance in that movie, she went on to appear in some more movies and then found herself here in New Zealand, where she is playing, and I apologise in advance for the pronunciations, Eretria? Eretria from Shannara Chronicles, Christchurch. Vamos a dar un gran aplauso para Ivana Baquero! Hola.
Hola, ¿y ahora?
Kia. Oh, nice. Her Maori is much better than my Spanish. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien.
Bueno.
Have you learned Spanish or is it already
Eso es todo lo siento. That's all I know.
Anyone know Spanish in here? No. Oh well.
At least you understood it, kind of.
Yeah.
Although I may have just tried to sell you a goat. Yes, no, take a seat.
Yeah.
Remember, if you have questions for our guest, please come on down to the microphone. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk to her for the next hour because, well, I'm a huge Shannara Chronicles fan. Read all the books as a kid. Met Terry Brooks.
Oh, nice.
He's amazing.
Has he been here at all?
Not in Christchurch. Well, he may have been in Christchurch in the past. No, he was up in Auckland a couple of years ago. Just before they started filming the first season.
Nice.
So how are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm currently actually shooting the Shannara Chronicles in Auckland, and I'm based in here for about 6 months, which is how long it takes to shoot. And I do love New Zealand. I mean, I was really, really happy and excited to come back. And it's my first time in the South Island here in Christchurch. So I'm really happy about that. It's a great opportunity to kind of get out of the whole shoot and explore a little bit.
So far, what's been your favourite place in New Zealand? And it's okay to say Wellington.
Close enough, but it's the Kapiti Coast.
Yes, that's
which is close to Wellington.
Greater Wellington regional area, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So what were you doing on the Kapiti Coast?
Well, I actually have a bunch of friends from season 1. My boyfriend is actually a Kiwi.
I know.
So
I work with a mutual friend of his.
Oh really? That's funny.
Conan McKeag. You probably don't know him.
No, I don't think I know him.
No.
But
ask your boyfriend about Conan when you see him next.
I will. I'll ask him about Conan. But yeah, the Kapiti Coast I really love, and I haven't been able to explore the South Island yet, unfortunately. But I've seen, the Coromandel up north. I've actually been in the Bay of Islands and Wellington and the Kapiti Coast, and kind of obviously Hobbiton because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. But yeah, I mean, I've had a bit of a travel.
So, Susan, anyone got any questions? You got a question? You've got a question. Give her the microphone. She's got a question. I know she's got a question. So remember, stand up, say hi, tell her who you are, where you're from. Let's be polite.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm a really big fan. I was just wondering how your basil plant's doing.
Oh my god, you know what, I'm so worried because, well actually, I'm just going to introduce it ever so slightly. I bought a basil plant and she actually died, but then she was reborn. So I've been taking care of it. I've been making a bunch of Instagram videos about it. And I had to leave it in Auckland for this. So I put a little bit of like an ice cube in hopes that it would slowly melt so that it doesn't dehydrate. I'm a big geek. But it's doing well. It's recovering after the massive storm. Thanks for asking though.
Have you named your basil plant?
Yeah. The basil.
The basil.
That's her name.
So you said you're a big geek, and I heard a rumour that part of your geekiness is related to Dungeons and Dragons. Role-playing game?
Oh, actually,
no.
No.
So how did that rumour get started? Because if you look at it, I'm doing a bit of research, and yeah, in a couple of different news articles, and obviously the Wikipedia, but I don't trust that. It's mentioned that you're a D&D gamer.
I'm a big gamer.
Yeah, but not D&D.
No.
Well, there goes half my questions. What sort of gaming do you do?
I I do like Dragon Age, obviously Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls. I've done like Primal. I literally play them all. Not so much kind of the modern war ones, but I do a lot of the medieval kind of fantasy games.
So what sort of characters do you build? Are you a thief based? Are you a magic based? Are you more of a fighter?
I'm big on magic, but actually ever since I started playing Eretria, this is like, I shouldn't even be saying this. Ever since I started playing Eretria in the Shannara Chronicles, I make them all like her. So I will literally name them Eretria. I'll make them some sort of like dagger fighter or, you know, stealthy fighter. So that's my life. I play myself. It's really bad though.
That's the best answer. I play a character on TV and now that it's just pretty much taken over your entire life.
Totally. I mean, it's pretty cool though, isn't it? But you get to like play yourself, I guess.
I'll admit, since I grew the beard, I pretty much play balls in all the games I play now. Or I make my characters try and look with a big beard, shorter and wider. Yeah.
It looks good. Now, I have a question about beards. I don't know if anyone knows, but is it true that they only grow to a certain length? Does it have a life limit?
Yes, apparently it does.
Oh.
I haven't reached mine yet, I'm hoping. I want a little bit more length, but there is apparently a cut-off point where it'll grow so long and then it won't grow any longer.
Yeah, that's what I heard, which is odd, but...
Beards are odd.
Yeah. Looks good on you, though.
Thanks. I reckon you can pull off a beard though, you can rock it.
I could. I tried for Eretria really strongly, but then they were like, no, because you have to be like seductive, and I was like, okay.
Hey,
no beard.
Beards can be seductive. Don't let them tell you otherwise. That's beard hate out there. We've got a question over there.
Hola, me llamo Amy.
Hola.
I was wondering what's coming up for Eretria in season 2 of the Shannara Chronicles.
That's a great question. I have to be honest, and there's so many new things coming up this season. They really have amped up the whole action kind of side of the show. It's certainly, I would say, more violent now, way more dark, which I think is great because I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. And this season for Eretria, it's got a lot to do with her finding more about her past. She's now free from Cephalo. She's now kind of, doing her own thing finally, but her past basically comes back to haunt her. So it's going to be her in a quest to really find out what her tattoo is all about, who her parents are, and kind of discovering a darker side inside of her, but I can't say anymore.
Do you have any tattoos?
I do. I actually have a few. I have a little sun. I have one on my back that says home. But Eretria is the queen of tattoos. She gets more this season. She's got a bunch on her hands, and it's really, really cool. You'll see all of that this season.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Richard Paul Watson. Have you thought about being the next Doctor Who companion and the next James Bond girl?
Have I thought? I mean, I have on social media occasionally seen, the odd post of people, doing the fan castings and putting me in those roles. That would definitely be really, really cool. As a little kid, I've always wanted to be a James Bond girl. That's very far off. And I definitely won't be able to have a beard if I ever do that. But, I mean, those are certainly dream roles. I've always wanted to play a hero too. There's always kind of those roles that we look up to as actresses. And for me, I've always loved, action and all that stuff. So those are always the roles I've wanted to do. So for me, Eretria actually is one of those roles that I always dreamt for as a little kid.
Speaking of you as a little kid, because you kind of had dream roles then as well, with Pan's Labyrinth and The New Daughter, both movies were kind of very, very dark and dare I say it, disturbing themes. Did they protect you from that, or how did they, how did you not devolve into mindless madness and become a serial killer? Considering that you were very, very young and in your formative years playing those dark roles.
I was. I killed a couple of people in the process. I think the thing is I started so young. I started when I was 8 years old, and I actually did 6 movies before Pan's Labyrinth, and they were all genre films. So I was pretty used to the blood, the prosthetics, the limbs flying around on set. And I think the fact that my mom came with me really did help. She was always there with me up until I turned 18 in every single shoot. So she kept me grounded, and it's really different when you're shooting than when you're actually watching the film, because when you're shooting you have the whole crew around you. You see the makeup artists, you see the tricks, so it's not that scary. So it was a little bit, a bit of everything, and I ended up just getting used to it.
Well, I have to admit, when I was looking for a fantasy movie and I saw Pan's Labyrinth, and I thought, it'll be something like Lord of the Rings, or it'll be something along those genre.
Yeah.
And when I started watching it, and next thing you know, we're in the Spanish Civil War. I was not expecting that movie the way it went. And I'm really glad that I did actually watch it, because it was a brilliant movie. You're amazing.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Oh, all right, you're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions for Ivana? There we go. Well, come on down. Get next to the mic. I'll pass her up the microphone. Yeah, just pass her the mic. We're all family here. We're fine.
Hello, I am Celeste, and my question for you isn't perfectly sculpted, but what's it like? How important is it to you playing such a kick-ass female character, especially when a lot of your target audience is still in the impressionable stage, considering the society?
I think I'm really lucky to play a character like Eretria, because she really is, as you said, kick-ass and really badass, but at the same time she is vulnerable. And when I'm watching TV, I never really like watching the perfect hero. I like watching a flawed hero that is struggling, that is vulnerable, that is really cool and can do all of these things and is really resourceful, but at the same time has a motivation and a goal. And that's what Eretria is. She's a female who's very, very strong, but she's also struggling, and she shows, I guess, those young girls that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to really fight for what you want, and in the process to fail or to make mistakes. So in that regard, I think Eretria is such a great character. And in this new season, we'll see more of that. We'll see more of her badassness, and she has way more fights. She kills a bunch of people. But at the same time, she is struggling. She's fighting an internal battle. So I feel very lucky that I can portray a character like that.
Cool. So, speaking of that, completely unrelated, you're busy filming, but in your spare time you're studying for a degree, I understand.
Yeah.
In
Law.
Law? Any particular law, like contract law, or are you looking at criminal law, or are you looking at property law, commercial law?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how it works here in New Zealand. In Spain, which is where kind of my university is, where I started, you study general law for 4 years, and then you specialize on the 5th year. So right now I'm just doing a bit of general law. I do like criminal law because it's really practical versus the other laws, which are, pretty theoretical and just abstract. But I don't think I'll ever actually pursue it. I don't see myself ever being a lawyer or a judge. It's something that I wanted to study because I definitely see myself maybe applying it in another aspect of the industry, be it a producer, or if I ever want to develop my own projects. I would rather use it, towards that, from a business perspective, yeah.
Any other questions? Should we just go to the bar?
No questions?
No questions. Come on.
Oh, there's one there.
We have been waiting a long time for her to join us.
There's a question there.
Saved.
Perhaps not. Pan's Labyrinth was an incredible movie. You were really, really amazing. I just wondered if you had any memories of being directed by Guillermo, because you know, what strategies would a director like that have for someone who's so young and yet not entirely inexperienced?
For one, I think Guillermo took me really seriously. And I'm saying that because as a child actor, usually when you have to do difficult scenes, like crying or like being scared, they usually, the coaches or the director try to put you as an individual in a difficult situation. So for instance, they would say, Ivana, imagine your mom is dying, you know, how would that feel? Try to cry. But Guillermo changed that whole perspective, and when he came to me, he really wanted to make me feel like Ofelia was feeling. So he would say, you know, Ofelia is going through this, her mom is dying, how would she feel? And that switched it all up for me, and I think that's one of, you know, the biggest things he taught me. It works better for me to think of how the character is feeling rather than how I would be feeling in that situation, because it feels more real to put myself in the character's skin. And generally speaking, it's really hard to remember one specific advice or a specific guideline, but Pan's Labyrinth for me was pretty much like going to acting school in 3 months. I learned a lot from Guillermo, and I learned a lot from the entire experience. Even from Doug Jones, who plays both the Pale Man and the Fawn. I mean, it was just, for a 12-year-old, so enriching to be the main character of such a massive film. So I was able to absorb everything like a sponge and to really grab all of the input.
Thanks a lot. Can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
What made you start wanting to become an actress as you started so young?
It was coincidence. I never really pursued it initially. I was 8 years old and I went to the American school in Barcelona, which is where I'm from. And obviously, you know, in Spain, we have kind of a reputation of not speaking really well the English language. People have very thick accents. And they were doing a co-production, so they needed a girl that could pull off the American accent. So they went to my school, they casted everyone my age range, and they ended up picking me. So I did that movie, and then, you know, the same production company hired me again. And so, you know, I really liked what I wasn't sure what I was doing. I mean, I was 8 years old, but I really liked it. I enjoyed being on set. I was never upset. I was never tired. I was, you know, always up for everything. So I started auditioning because I asked my mom, and that's how one thing led to the other, and eventually I landed Pan's Labyrinth. But initially it was purely coincidence.
It's amazing. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, it's an interactive experience. You need to come down.
I love your outfit, by the way, and your boots.
I rock the corset, lady. It's alright, we'll wait.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy trying to breathe.
I feel you.
That's a second part of the question, actually. With all the fighting that you do you have a background of fighting, or do you approach it as a dance choreography sort of thing? And with your outfit seem to be tight, does that handle you at all?
Well, I didn't come from like an action background. I think that was the first question. Yeah. No, actually, Shannara season 1 was probably the first time I had to do, you know, all of these stunts, all of this action. So they brought us in a month in advance to prep, to really, you know, get our physiques up, to learn all of these stunts. And obviously this season I'm kind of more prepared, but it's definitely been a challenge. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the things that I enjoy most about Shannara. But, you know, we have amazing stunties, and an amazing stunt team, but we actually do a lot of the stunts and a lot of the fighting. And then the second question was, how did it feel to shoot in that outfit? I actually have to wear a corset for Eretria too. And we have all these tricks. When I don't have the jacket on, it's very tight and I have to deal with it. But when I do have the jacket on, I can manage to loosen it up a little bit, and you know, we find tricks, and we have character boots, we have stunt boots for when we have to run around the forest or jump around. But you know, it is kind of a challenge. You know, I've thought so many times, if I were really living in this world, would I actually wear this? Probably not.
Would you eat?
I would wear like sweatpants, you know, probably. But it's an amazing outfit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to know how much of the filming is on location and how much is on set?
I would say it's 50-50. We shoot a lot on location, surprisingly. But I think that is one of the reasons why we shoot in New Zealand. Because you can't get these amazing landscapes and this amazing light anywhere, well, not this light, you know what I mean, anywhere else in the world. You know, it's a very kind of specific atmosphere that is very much like, you know, kind of the Lord of the Rings vibe in that regard. And yeah, that's why we shoot on location so much, which I enjoy, because we don't really get to tour around New Zealand. We're shooting pretty much Monday through Saturday, and I am there every single day. So when we get to shoot on location is when I get to see everything. You know, we shoot on the beach, we shoot in the mountains, in the sand dunes. So it's definitely a treat for me.
And also just wondered, is there any like little jokes that you've had on set that maybe you can share with us?
Yeah, oh my God, there's so many things going on set. Everyone is hilarious. Well, I mean, to me, I find it funny that all the guys are so strict with their diets. They have this like high protein diet, low carbs, and I mean, it's hilarious because I can't live life without carbs. So I'm always sneaking in like pizza and always cooking pasta, and that's just me. But I'm always poking fun at them, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of funny things going on. And when you shoot such long hours, because we shoot about 15 hours a day, you end up just cracking up about everything, and you become delirious even. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Back to the stunt question. Did you know how to ride horses before you did your scenes in season 1?
Yeah, that was actually one of the few things that I knew how to do before Shannara. Yes. I was obviously not a pro rider, but I had been taking lessons since I was a little kid. So I am familiar with horses, and I do love them.
That's awesome. Second question, in your sort of ending of season 1, are you pretty prepared for how exciting season 2 is for like everyone who sees it?
Yeah, I mean,
without giving too much away.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't want to give it. I'm not even allowed to give anything away, and obviously I don't want to spoil anything. But it's much bigger this season, and it was very exciting for me to read it because, to be honest, the producers or the writers didn't really tell us what was going to go on this season. They gave us kind of like, you know, a bit of a summary of what was going to happen to our characters. This season does take place a year after the first one, that's all I'll say. So they kind of told us what had happened in the middle, but we started the show pretty much reading the script and finding out for the first time what was going on with our characters. So for instance, I won't say who it is, but you know, the person she sees at the end of the season, I didn't know who it was when the season ended, so I was like totally on the same page as you guys, and I discovered it when I read the scripts. So it's also a bit of a journey for me, but it's definitely getting much bigger in terms of battles, action. You know, in season 1, there's obviously, you know, there's a lot of little fights, but only one final battle. But in this season of Shannara, there's pretty much an epic battle every like 3 episodes.
Final question from me. Is there anyone from season 1 that isn't dead, obviously, that you would really hope was in season 2?
That isn't dead or that is dead? I really wish Crispin came back. I miss him.
Is that just because of the face he pulled when he died? Like,
It was so sad. I don't want to. Well, I don't know if everyone here has watched season 1, but just in case I won't spoil much. But he was hilarious, and he and Marcus Vanko, who plays Bandon, they had this amazing romance, and they were so funny on set. It was so nice having them. But I mean, I miss everyone. You know, I can't say things because then I'll be spoiling. But yeah, I miss everyone. It's a very intense shoot, as I said. It's 6 months, so we really bond and spend time together. So when we leave and when it finishes, it's been heartbreaking to leave all of that behind, and especially coming back and having new people but not having the old ones. It's bittersweet.
It's like a family, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Ivana, welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you.
If we get time, I will recommend Queenstown.
Okay.
And I can't exactly remember where, it's been a while, but there was a cave on the west coast that I went to. You go in and it's real dark, but there's heaps of clothing around.
Waitomo Caves.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see. My questions are more personal. If you were animal, I asked the same to Lily. If you were animal, what would it be and why?
I would like to be a panther as an animal, probably, because they're very stealthy, and I think they're just rare and gorgeous. Not that I'm describing myself. I would totally. No, but I would love to be a panther. I think it's such a mysterious and cool animal that not many people really talk about. It's kind of like overlooked. Or, I mean, I know this is classic. Ooh, panther, there you go. There you go.
What I prepared earlier.
Yeah, we had this conversation just because you've been asking this question to everyone. He tattooed it on his arms and neck.
I asked her, I read her bio, she said I want to be a panther, so I got it tattooed on down here.
Yeah. Or I would love to be maybe just like a bird for a day, like an eagle, because I love traveling, and I would just love to kind of live that experience of flying in first person.
Pretty cool to fly.
Yeah, what would you be?
I like the wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah. Wolves and
Do you
huskies.
also have a tattoo of a wolf?
No.
Oh.
I'm not famous enough.
That's right.
My second one was, has there been any celebrities that you've been stuck to see?
Well, yeah. For instance, Morgan Freeman, when I met him, because I was not, because normally when I meet celebrities, I know I'm going to meet them because it's some sort of event or, a shoot. But I bumped into Morgan Freeman in an elevator once, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "I love you." And I was like, that's so unlike me to tell someone. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "I love you so much. I love you." And he was obviously a bit, like weirded out. But I was terribly starstruck. Yeah.
I think
that was my big one.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, I did the exact same thing to Billy Boyd just before. I told him I loved him.
Oh.
But, it's Billy Boyd.
Yeah.
Actually, there's usually a young lady that comes to these things and asks this question, and she's not here this year, so I'm going to ask you this question. If you could have a mundane superpower, what would it be? Now, when I say mundane superpower, for example, when she asked me that question, my mundane superpower is to be always able to find a car park outside the building that I want to go into.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I was going to say teleporting, but that's not mundane.
Mundane.
No. That's such a good question that I had never thought about.
We've got time. We can wait.
I wish I could fall asleep instantaneously. It happens so many times that because I know I have to fall asleep, I just stress out and I don't. Or, you know, those are odd times also when you want to take a quick nap, but you're just like, I can't fall asleep. I wish I could just snap my fingers and fall asleep.
That was well worth the wait. That's a very good answer.
Yeah.
Excellent. Does anyone else have any more questions? No, you're just leaving. Halfway through. That's so rude. Oh, you staff.
Hi, Ivana. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I was wondering what's one of, so I've got two questions. Number one, what's your favourite show? And the second question is, what is the role of a lifetime that you hope to play?
My favorite show, I watch a lot of shows, although I'm a bit of a slowpoke because I can never quite binge. I have to watch them with a lot of time. But I would say right now, I love Vikings. It's one of my favorite shows. Although I have yet to watch the last part of season 4.
Yeah, I went to
I'm very much looking forward to it though, with all those young lads grown up. Have you watched Vikings?
Not yet. It's on my list.
You wouldn't know then. Vikings I love, and also obviously Game of Thrones because that's very much my cup of tea. And I mean, I really liked Westworld when it came out. I'm looking forward to the second season. And yeah, it's you know, it's hard because I watch many shows, but I would say those currently are the ones that I'm looking forward to.
And yeah, the second question was, what's one role you love to play?
My role of a lifetime. I don't know if there's a particular role, but I would love to work with Peter Jackson. And I'm not even saying it because I'm in New Zealand. Like, this has always been my dream ever since, you know, I watched his work. But I don't think I have. I mean, as I said before, I would love to play a hero, like a superhero. That would certainly be really cool, especially now that I've had to learn all these fighting skills. But I don't have a specific one. I guess just, yeah, kind of like an action role would be awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you seen the movie Bad Taste? It's Peter Jackson. It's his first movie.
No. Oh my god, wait. I may have, maybe not. What's it about?
It's about aliens. Aliens come to New Zealand. If you get a chance, look up Bad Taste. It's his first movie.
Okay.
Brilliant. Shh. Don't spoil it. You'll love it. Or Meet the Feebles, that's another good one.
Hi.
Hi.
You said you're a big fan of travelling. I was just wondering, are there any places in the world that you like?
Mate,
Sorry.
firstly, aren't you a little bit short to be a stormtrooper?
Well, actually, courage is tall.
Excellent. It's even just hold the microphone close to your mouth.
Sorry. Are there any places in the world that you're really eager to see, and any places that you've been that have really taken a breath away?
The place that I've been, one of the places that I like the most is Japan, and I really, really want to go back because I was only able to go to Tokyo, but I thought it was such an amazing city with so many things to see. I'm a big fan of the Japanese culture, of Japanese food, so I'm looking forward to going back. And all those temples, it really did take my breath away. I'm certainly looking forward to visiting more of the South Island. I've been meaning to for the last 2 years, which is when we started Shannara. So that's another place that I know will take my breath away and I want to explore. And yeah, I mean, as I said before, one of the things that I love the most is traveling. So I have a list of a bunch of places I want to go to. So I wouldn't even know where to start. But yeah, definitely I'd go back to Japan. I want to explore the South Island. I actually want to go to Australia, which I've never been to. So there's a bunch of places. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to know, is there any TV show that you'd like to be a guest star on?
Like purely Kiwi?
Like any TV show, anywhere in the world.
Oh, any kind of show that I would like to guest star in? Well, Vikings, for sure. If only. Yeah, so Vikings would certainly be one, and I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I guess because, to be honest, Shannara does take up so much of my time that I haven't really thought about that. But that would be a show that I would love to be in. I mean, yeah, they should go back to Spain. I can be like a Spanish princess. Thank you.
So obviously as your fame is just going to grow and grow and grow and you're going to become more and more famous, which talk show do you really want to go on? Which talk show do you think, once you're on that talk show, you know you've made it as a superstar?
I'm so frightened of talk shows. I don't know why. I guess because it is the thing that you only get to do if you're an A-list or, you know, you're a massive star. That it's the kind of thing that if I ever get there, it means it's important and people are going to watch it.
Look up there, you're on a talk show now.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean,
you're nailing it.
But I think I really do enjoy Ellen. I guess it counts as a talk show. It's not a night one. But if I ever got to do that, I'd be, you know, so happy and so nervous at the same time.
Hi.
Hi.
You said before that you studied law, and as a law student myself, I know how heavy that can be. How do you balance that with your duties as an actor? That must be pretty tough.
It is quite a challenge. I do have to say I don't take as many classes as a normal student would per semester. So in Spain, you do an average of 5 classes per semester, and I do 2, which means it'll take me a bit longer, but you know, it's really hard. As you said, it is really hard to balance it out with a full-time acting job. But there's always time for everything, I think, if you really organize yourself. You know, if it's a matter of really sitting down and scheduling your life and kind of putting together your priorities and what it is you really need to do. And it's manageable. If it's really what you want to do, I think it's totally manageable. So it's certainly hard. It's a sacrifice, but I know it'll pay off. So it's just a matter of, you know, kind of pushing and fighting for it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's like a fawn. It's totally a fawn. Hi. It's so cool. Is he from a specific?
No, he's just someone who's just come out of nowhere.
It's from Pants? Wow, I knew it was a fawn. Oh my God, good to meet you.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That is an excellent costume.
It is. I need to take a picture with you afterwards. That's so cool. I love it. Oh my God. That is really cool.
See, there's a difference between, so you look at that and see cool, I look at that and get scared.
I mean, the fact that it rose threw me off.
Stop looking at me, you're freaking me out. But there's a lot of hard work that's gone into that.
No, yeah, that's certainly, you know, very cool.
Right, do we have any more questions for our guests? No? Right? Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, are there any sports that you like to play? New Zealand is a great sporting nation. Any games, sports you like to play, and how do you like to exercise?
Usually, I just go to the gym, and Pilates would be my go-to. It's really hard for me to find a proper kind of team sport because I'm never in the same city for a long time. So I just, for me it's easier to just kind of do my thing. But in all honesty, I have played touch rugby in New Zealand. I was signed up to a team in the Kapiti Coast, and I scored a few tries. I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not massive on team sports because I've never really had the time to be in one. But I'm up to really trying anything, as I did with touch.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Has Manu been teaching you the laws, the rules of rugby?
No, oh my god. But that would be interesting, although scary at the same time, because he's quiet.
Oh,
and then intimidated. I know. But no, but I'll ask.
I know he's taught Michael Rowe and who plays Diggles? Who's the actor that plays Diggles on Arrow? Peter Frampton. Oh. I know he's taught them the rules of rugby because they were over here during the World Cup, so they got released. But yeah, get him to teach you the rules of rugby. It's one of his favourite topics in life. Another question?
Hi again. Hi. You already speak like 3 languages, but are there any more that you'd like to learn?
For sure. I think languages are so interesting and important because they open so many doors, and in fact, I've always said that I think languages are even more important than a major sometimes. But I'd definitely love to learn Italian, and maybe, I don't know, even German, but they just seem at this point so complicated. But yeah, I do love languages. So those would be probably my go-tos, especially because I'm from Europe. So I would probably make a good use of them.
And before you answered what animals you'd like to be, but what animal do you think best describes you?
A sloth. Probably. I would say it's my spirit animal. Thank you.
And on that bombshell, Christchurch, please, a round of applause for Ivana.
Thank you, guys.
And if you want to see her again, come down to Dunedin next week. Bye, guys.